Coming to you from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, this is the QTV Nightly News and I am Andy Kema. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. As part of the President's Delivery Forum meetings this year, officials of the Works and Health Ministries, led by their respective ministers, met President Barrow at the State House in Banjul on Wednesday. As part of ongoing consultations to pass the rejected draft constitution, Gambia Participates, a civil society organization, gathered stakeholders to discuss and validate a position paper on reviving the draft constitution. The World Bank Gambia office organized a forum on Wednesday to celebrate International Women's Day 2024. In international news, the annual session of the 14th National People's Congress has opened in Beijing, in China. Deputies gathered at the Great Hall of the People to review the government work report and set agendas for the coming year. In sports news, Border FC defeated Cambeleng FC in the Woolly East football tournament to clinch the CD Kinte-sponsored trophy. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV Nightly News, and now the news in detail. As part of the President's Delivery Forum meetings this year, officials of the Works and Health Ministries, led by their respective ministers, met President Barrow at the State House in Banjul on Wednesday. They briefed the President on their respective ministries' levels of progress, specifically on roads infrastructure projects and health facilities renovation and construction. Aliu Sise reports.
The center of the discussions, which were also attended by Vice President Mohamed B.S. Jallow, were the activities implemented and the funds mobilization for these activities. The delivery unit of the Ministry of Public Service, Administrative Reforms, Policy Coordination and Delivery organizes quarterly forums to update the President on the work progress under the various ministries. It also provided an opportunity for frank discussion on critical issues for decision-making. According to the State House Press Office, the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure had a presentation led by Deputy Permanent Secretary Technical Mr. Ibrahim Akoli, which focused on the state of the OIC roads, urban and rural roads projects funded by the government and external partners. He gave the technical state of the works, financial situation and issues relating to contractors and consultants. Mr. Akoli pointed out that the delays in some of the projects were associated with the relocation of NABEC water pipes due to a lack of records of the pipe layouts in old settlements and the random erecting of electric poles in new settlements. Reacting to the presentation, President Barrow said despite the budgetary issues, there was a need for further cooperation of contractors and consultants to ensure the timely completion of the projects, arguing that the slow pace of projects will cost the government more. On a positive note, President Barrow was excited that the completion of the roads will open up the Gambia. In another delivery session on Wednesday, the Director of Planning at the Ministry of Health, Mr. Jibril Jaju, gave an update on the health infrastructure projects since its last update in September 2023. The update highlighted the significant progress made in the construction works at the National Emergency Treatment Center at Farato, the renovation at the main referral hospital, the Edward Francis Sumo Teaching Hospital, and the polyclinic in Banjul. It also detailed the advancements in rural facilities, namely Njau Major Health Center and 5 health facilities at Salikenye, Kisima Jau, Kiang Jali, Mankamankunda, and Tumana. While there was a common delay in all the projects, significant progress was registered since the last forum in September 2023. The challenges identified related to relationship between contractors and consultants, management, and disbursement of funds. President Barrow underscored the importance of timely delivery in the health infrastructure projects. He urged the stakeholders to treat hospital construction work as an emergency, stating, when people are sick, they need to go to the hospital. Therefore, we must ensure the timely delivery of our projects. The President expressed his satisfaction with the delivery forum, noting its role in improving communication among stakeholders and addressing bottlenecks to project implementation. The delivery forum is a quarterly session coordinated by the Permanent Secretary Aliu Lum and team. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
As part of ongoing consultations to pass the rejected draft constitutions, Gambia Participates, a civil society organization, gathered stakeholders to discuss and validate a position paper on reviving the draft constitution on Wednesday. Stakeholders advocate a compromise from all parties to reach a consensus. Aliu Cisse again.
Gambia Participates commissioned a group of dialogists to engage stakeholders to explore ways and means of reviving the draft constitution after it was rejected in Parliament in 2020 on socio-political and cultural backgrounds. At this forum are representatives of political parties, religious leaders, civil society organizations, media, and the Inter-Party Committee. Presenting the position paper, John Charles Njai, a dialogist and chairman of YMCA, said despite the fact that the draft constitution was rejected based on various factors, a due process was followed. He is still hopeful of a revival and adoption.
You know, a lot of people say the constitution is dead. The constitution is not dead. And we have always said that what has happened in the process is a very democratic process.
Some of the contentious issues surrounding the draft constitution include the issue of the vetting of the appointment of ministers by the National Assembly, the inclusion or exclusion of the word secular, the two-term limit retroactive clause, and the threshold required to pass a resolution for the impeachment of the president, which is deemed low. In an open discussion, stakeholders including Sehu Mbalo of the National People's Party, Alma Metal of the United Democratic Party, Mfamara Jaune of Bekanya Organization, Mariama Danso of Fact Checkers Gambia, Mohammed Sane of Supreme Islamic Council, and Reverend Gabriel Leonard Allen of Gambia Christian Council, respectively, all shared their views on the position paper.
For us to think that bringing back this constitution as its origin is going to be passed, that's a dream. It's not going to happen.
The 1997 constitution was designed for and operated by one man.
So we need a compromise, and in order for us to have that compromise, we need to widen up these engagements to the grassroots level, engage every Gambian to have the views of the Gambians again.
There is need for us to have honest conversations, and that honest conversations, we need the National Assembly on board.
For how long are we going to have dialogue? Like anytime you said you have a dialogue, you said we need to have dialogue. For how long?
Lawyer Tal is telling us that it's a one-man constitution. I disagree completely. It's a very good constitution, and it is the constitution. It is the legal. It is the National Assembly members that tolerated the corruption of the constitution, and it is them now and us that together must extract all the defects in that constitution and provide and let this one be.
Aneta Mahoney, Gambia Participates Program Manager, and Saliu Tal, Vice Chair of Gambia Participates, say the time has come for the Gambia to reach a consensus to adopt a new constitution.
It reflects the values, aspirations, and rights of citizens, serving as a guiding framework for the nation's development and progress.
Of course, there may be divergent views about how to do it, but one thing we all agree to, I believe, is that we do need a new constitution.
On the way forward, it recommends a National Constitutional Consultative Conference be organized in the shortest possible time, and the Independent Electoral Commission should be allotted to prepare for a hitch-free referendum. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Cisse.
The World Bank Gambia office organized a day-long event on Wednesday to celebrate International Women's Day 2024. The event brought together cabinet ministers, women leaders, members of civil society organizations, and the diplomatic corps. Lolly M. Kamara attended and filed in this report.
Observed annually on March 8, International Women's Day is a global day set aside to celebrate the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women and to reflect on the journey ahead. In addition, the day serves as a call to action for accelerating gender parity. The World Bank Gambia office is celebrating the day with discussions around the theme Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress. In her welcome statement, the World Bank Country Director, Kaiko Miwa, who joined the event virtually, said, The World Bank is proud to be a partner in the Gambia's ongoing development, supported initiatives that improve the lives of women and girls. The theme for the World Bank's campaign for this year's International Women's Day is Inspire Inclusion, which they say is apt because participants believe that when others are inspired to understand and value women's inclusion, we can forge a better world. Here is Fatou Kinte, the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Welfare.
In the Gambia, we are proud of the significant strides we have made in empowering women. One such stride is the establishment of the Women Enterprise Fund, a testament to our dedication to supporting women entrepreneurs. This initiative provides financial assistance, training, and mentorship to women, enabling them to start and grow their businesses, thereby contributing to their well-being, the well-being of their families and communities, and consequently to the nation's economic development.
Minister Kinte thanked the World Bank for funding the Sweat Plus project, which she says stands as a beacon of hope for furthering women's empowerment and gender equality in the Gambia. The world is facing many crises, including geopolitical conflicts, rising poverty levels, and the impact of climate change. As women are the majority in almost every country, these challenges can only be addressed by solutions that empower women. So, by investing in the women, we can catalyze change and speed up the transition to a healthier, safer, and more equal world for all. Claudiana Cole, the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, elaborates.
Some investments are being made in the matters of gender, but I will not say there is room for improvement, but rather more needs to be done. More needs to be done in sensitizing and creating awareness for consideration and inclusion of women.
The United Nations began celebrating International Women's Day in 1975, which had been proclaimed the International Women's Year. Since then, the day has fostered a strong sense of solidarity across the world. At this event, there were panel discussions on various topics, such as women in leadership, shaping a more inclusive future for the Gambia, and cultural shifts, challenging norms to accelerate gender equality in the Gambia, amongst others. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local, international, and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
On Saturday, March 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m., history will be made in the Gambia. His Excellency Adama Barrow, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, will be inaugurating the 23-megawatt solar PV plant in the serene town of Jambur, West Coast region. The Gambia government, through the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy and the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC, in partnership with the European Investment Bank and the World Bank, will unveil this groundbreaking project tagged the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project Component 1. This monumental achievement marks a significant milestone in the Gambia's journey towards a sustainable future. Let's all come together as we embrace progress, innovation, and a greener tomorrow. Be part of this historic moment as we pave the way for a brighter and cleaner future for the Gambia.
ñun ñooy bunti liggéeykaay bi liñ dee def ci suñ liggéey nag bari na te yépp dafa ànd ak ay taxawaay yu takku boole kook yeneen sarta yu dëgër fii ci biir réew mi ak bitim réew ñun ñooy yëgal te it jàppale askan wi bañ xam nu nguur gi di doxalee lépp lu réew mi moom ci ay xibaar ak ay bataaxal yu yomba déglu ci kaw loolu ñépp lañ amale ci suñ ay liggéeykat ñu ëpp téeméeri nit ndaxte njëm kanami réew mi moo ñu soxal suñ weeruwaay mooy njub takku booloo ak kóolute ci lépp luy njëriñ askan wi ñun ñooy National Audit Office bunti gestu bu gën a màgg fii ci biir réew mi ñun ñooy teg ay pexe jëfee ci te it di jottali ci suñ liggéeyal askan wi nag dañ saxal suñ bopp te takku ngir gis ne bépp bërëbu liggéeykaay buy jëfandikoo xaalisi réew mi wala sax lépp lu réew mi moom jaarale nañ ko ci ay yoon yu leer.
Welcome back. You're watching QTV Nightly News. The Pastors Intercessory Fellowship International organized a conference on preserving peace, stability, and national heritage with religious leaders, security personnel, and traditional rulers on Wednesday. Momodu Gajaga tells us more.
The conference is held under the theme Sabotage, Disobedience, and Negligence, Direct Threat to National Security, Peace, and Stability. Together, we can preserve peace, stability, and national heritage. Bishop Professor Augustine Bernard, Executive Chairman of the Pastors Intercessory Fellowship, the Gambia, Francis Jata, representing the Inspector General of Police, and Joseph Carl Gomez, representing the Chief of Defense Staff, all spoke about the importance of the theme for the conference.
The conference on the role of religion in national security, together with traditional rulers, with the special themes sabotage, disobedience, and negligence, became expedient and exigent in the face of the current incidences of the increased world political instability, which also threatens the security of many nations today and the world in general.
One of the most evident consequences of disobedience is the increase in road traffic accidents. So disobedience to traffic laws, such as overspeeding, reckless driving, and driving under the influence of drug or alcohol, has resulted in countless deaths and injuries on our roads. This not only devastates families, but also put a strain on our healthcare system and economy.
In the 21st century, religion plays a significant role in the international relations and security. Policymakers and academics recognize religion as a major contributor to conflict and its resolution. Number 3, religious actors and stability. Religious actors contribute to maintaining stability and social cohesion in societies worldwide.
Representatives of traditional rulers, religious leaders, and the Vice President all highlighted the significance of raising children in our traditional ways. The participants also highlighted the dangers of drug abuse, disobedience, and negligence in society. Paramount Chief of the Gambia and James Gomez represented the Vice President of the Gambia.
So if we are following this, you see, this country cannot go, any part of the country cannot go without the tradition. The moment we leave the tradition, the children, our children will lose their tradition. They will lose many, many things. There will be no discipline.
We recall that the Gambia has experienced increased armed conflict, reinforced by drug abuse, accidents, resulting in losses of life among citizens and negligence of duties. This is detrimental to our development and should not be allowed to continue. The poor, which include out of school, unemployed youth, are often the victims of these undesirable situations.
The founders and coordinators of Prayers for the Nation and members of the Pastors Intercessory Fellowship have been organizing the national conference on various themes annually for 8 years. Umudu Gajaga, QTV News.
We will now shift our attention to news outside the country. The annual session of the 14th National People's Congress has opened in Beijing. Deputies gathered at the Great Hall of the People to review the government work report and set agendas for the coming year. African nations that have benefited from links with China watched this session with keen interest. Here is the report.
China's political session is underway, with the National People's Congress beginning its annual session on Tuesday. During the opening, Premier Li Qiang delivered the government work report. He summarized the achievements of 2023, highlighting China's 5.2% GDP growth and over 6% increase in per capita disposable income. Additionally, he set targets for this year's development.
A comprehensive analysis and assessment shows that China's development environment this year will continue to feature both strategic opportunities and challenges, with favorable conditions outweighing unfavorable ones. The main targets for development this year are projected as follows: GDP growth of around 5%, over 12 million new urban jobs, surveyed urban unemployment rate of around 5.5%, CPI increase of around 3%.
Premier Li also highlighted the need to intensify macroeconomic regulation. He called for strengthening a proactive fiscal policy, focusing on enhancing quality and efficiency and reinforcing consistency in macro policies. He outlined several key tasks for this year, including accelerating the development of new quality productive forces, emphasizing industrial upgrading and high-quality development.
Striving to modernize the industrial system and developing new quality productive forces at a faster pace. We should give full rein to the leading role of innovation, spur industrial innovation by making innovations in science and technology, and press ahead with new industrialization so as to raise total factor productivity, steadily foster new growth drivers and strengths, and promote a new leap forward in the productive forces.
Another task is deepening reforms to stimulate business entities, including state-owned, private, and foreign enterprises. Additionally, he highlighted the need to accelerate the building of a unified national market and advance fiscal, financial, and taxation reforms. He further outlined measures China will take to attract foreign investment.
We will intensify efforts to attract foreign investment. All market access restrictions on foreign investment in manufacturing will be abolished, and market access restrictions in services sectors such as telecommunications and healthcare will be reduced.
2024 marks the 75th anniversary of the People's Republic of China. It is also a crucial year for Chinese leaders to achieve their 14th five-year plan. They're using their annual meeting to set the tone and priorities for what comes next on China's modernization journey. Dai Kai, CGTN, Beijing.
We'll now take a look at the latest in sports news. Border FC defeated Kambileng FC 1-0 in the Woolly East football tournament in URR to clinch the Sidi Kinte-sponsored trophy. Alhaji A.F. Jallo reports.
Football fans and supporters gathered in their numbers at the Welingarayare football field to cheer the finalists. The tournament was organized and coordinated by the Woolly East Sports Committee. Border FC and Kambileng FC battled for the trophy in the Sidi Kinte-sponsored Peace Trophy. Pate Balde from the governor's office in URR took the kickoff on behalf of Sidi Kinte, the main sponsor of the peace tournament. The first half of the game ended in a 0-0 stalemate. The contest became more intense as both sides pushed to make a breakthrough. The intensity on the pitch was reflected among the spectators. Ibrahim Abiba of Border FC opened the scoreline in the 61st minute from a long-range shot that caught the Kambileng FC goalkeeper unawares. It proves to be the only goal scored, and the match thus ended 1-0 in favor of Border FC. The captain and coach of the winning team, Ibrahim Jao and Lamin Jallo, respectively, gave their reflection on the contest.
We
are lucky to have won this game. Sometimes football is about luck, commitment and determination. From the beginning of the tournament, we were undefeated in all our matches. We are grateful to the organizers and the main sponsor of the tournament.
The number one thing what I want to advise the federation or the Basse Regional Sport Committee, they have to try and train local coaches here, because that's the main problem. There are so many talents here, but we don't have regular good coaches who will show them how to play.
Nafa Jabai, The coordinator of the tournament thanked the sponsor and QTV for supporting grassroots football.
I am extending my heartfelt greeting to Sidi Kinte and the QTV group. Because if you see all this is happening, people are seeing it in the world, it's because of the media. Sidi is somebody who is always supporting. This is not the first time, this is not the second time. He's always supporting people, especially in the grassroots level, because these are going to be tomorrow Sadio Mane and Musa Barros.
Certificates, awards and trophies were presented to players and officials. The winners and runners-up went home with trophies, medals and cash prizes. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alaji A.F. Jalo.
Well, congratulations to Border FC. And with that story, we've come to the end of this bulletin. But please don't forget to get interactive with us on social media by following us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube at QTV Gambia. Join us at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thanks for watching.